Here we have another example of an actively managed ETF. So I know you mentioned before the industry's on pace, Nate, for a record number of new launches, but they seem to be primarily active ETFs. So what does that tell us now about the state of active? I mean, what it tells me is it seems like we sort of exhausted the possibility for growth or new funds in the index space. Active has sort of become popular because of the exhaustion of the possibilities of indexes, and the success of that space is pulling money away from mutual funds. So if you're an active mutual fund manager, you have to consider some kind of ETF at this point, it seems to me.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I mean, the fact of the matter is all of the passive strategies are spoken for, right? Somebody isn't coming to market with a new S&P 500 ETF or Russell 2000 ETF. You're not going to compete there. And even if you look at the smart beta or factor ETF space, there's just not a ton of room for new products. But with active management, you can differentiate, assuming the active manager is actually doing something meaningfully different than the underlying benchmark. But that ability to differentiate, I think, is the key driver here, because it's a way to stand out in a highly competitive industry. Yeah. And what you were saying, you look at launches this year. So we've had about 450 new ETFs come to market. That actually puts the industry on pace to eclipse 2021's record of around 475 ETFs. And when you look at the composition of those launches, I show about 75% are actively managed. And it's all stripes of strategies from some of the largest names in active management. Obviously, GMO, you look at Capital Group, Fidelity, Calamos, Franklin Templeton, T. Rowe Price, Dimensional, JP Morgan. We could go on and on. It's truly the biggest brands in asset management continuing to leverage the ETF wrapper.
Yeah, it's quite remarkable. I like to always say and joke, Nate and I know this joke, that a mediocre active manager in a mutual fund wrapper is going to be a mediocre active manager in an ETF wrapper. You just have lower costs overall. How has your actively managed mutual fund, the quality fund, fared against, say, the S&P 500?
We've done quite well. We've added value against the S&P since inception, which is 2004. And I think what our clients value as much as that is that we've been universally protected capital in a relative sense in the down market. So, of course, the financial crisis, but also last year, we managed a quality strategy that outperforms the down market in part because of its valuation focus historically, but also can participate in growth in a year like this.
How are you doing this year, your performance?
We're outperforming in our mutual fund by about 5 percentage points versus the S&P year to date.
That's fine.